Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening based on where you are joining from. I welcome you all to the 132nd meeting of Globetrotters Toastmasters Club. Now, on this Sunday morning, we all have gathered here with some purpose, with some goal, with some mission. And the goal is our self-development. Similarly, our Toastmasters Club is also having a mission, and that mission is the club provides a positive and supportive learning experience in which the members are empowered with members are empowered to develop communication and leadership skills, resulting in greater self-confidence and personal growth. Now, during the meeting, there will be some ground rules that we will be following. If someone is speaking, I will request others to please keep themselves muted. And in that duration, please try to not post anything on the chat box as well. It will distract the speaker. I would request everyone to be on the camera if possible. And if your video is on, please maintain a proper posture. I'd also request the role players to rename the roles with their names. This will help us navigate throughout the meeting. That I have renamed Sa with my name. I'd also, that's a recommendation. Let's try to refrain from talking about sex, politics, and religion in a derogatory manner. And in case you need to talk about that, please be responsible and keep in mind the sentiment of the people present in this room. Now, I would like to hand over the stage to our presiding officer, the person who is kind of a motivator. I mean, every morning whenever I check my WhatsApp status, I find a motivating or inspiring WhatsApp status from that person. So let's welcome that motivator, that inspiring person, our presiding officer, our club president, Toastmaster Vinal Gandhi Ghosh.
Thank you so much, our energetic star, Toastmaster Kamal. Please clap for virtual hand, or maybe clap for our energetic Kamal. Yeah. Good morning, and it's a Sunday morning. It's time for Globetrotters meeting. Yes, we are 132 meetings, and we have special exciting news for today. I hope everyone will enjoy a lot with today's workshop. It's a if you ask me, in my Toastmaster journey, first time I will be attending the Grammarian Workshop. So we try to be innovative in our meeting on day-to-day basis. Many new things coming on the way. So with that note, I don't take too much time today because a lot of things happen today. So with that note, I just want to know about guest Abid. Are you a Toastmaster or guest Abid? Imtiaz, am I audible to you? Prema, Toastmaster Prema. I think you are Toastmaster. Am I right, Prema? Am I audible to you?
Yes, I am a Toastmaster. I represent the Litmus 7 Kochi Toastmasters Club. It's a corporate club.
Okay, nice to hear you. And thank you for joining the meeting.
Oh, yeah. My pleasure.
Thank you so much. Hannah, I know about you. Thank you so much for joining the meeting. So, little bit introduction of yours, if possible, Hannah, for the benefit of the group.
Sorry, just repeat that.
Your introductions for the benefit of the group.
Oh, well, it's still early morning for me. I haven't seen the sun lately, or not yet. It's still on the way because it's going on for 7 a.m. here with me. I am Hannah from my home club here and from a club in Canada. And I love this meeting. That's why I get up early. Thank you.
Thank you so much. So with that note, I just want to hand over the podium to our energetic MC of today's meeting. And he is an amazing leader, amazing humble person, Toastmaster Paramjit. Toastmaster Paramjit, podium is yours.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Minal, presiding officer. Good morning, everyone. This is Paramjit Singh joining in from United Arab Emirates, Dubai. Today, we are having a wonderful session on Grammarian, and we will be going further with the table topics also. There's something called grammar. It was like a hammer for me when I was studying. And I made a blunder mistake of writing, while young, a love letter to my English teacher. And you know what happened? All my love letter came back to me with all my grammar mistakes. So I never tried back again to write any love letter to anyone. And I hope after our meeting, after our training, I will try again, because I will be able to improve my grammar a lot in this workshop. And because I know the person who is going to hold this training is a very seasoned Toastmaster. He's a Toastmaster for more than 6 years now, currently a member of Globetrotters Toastmaster Club and the treasurer for Unicorn's Voice Toastmaster Club. And his achievements, my goodness, district first runner-up in humorous speech contest, district finalist in table topic contest, division first runner-up in international speech contest and evaluation. He is select distinguished area director in the past. He's working in a French bank. He enjoys theaters, traveling, cooking, and public speaking. His favorite quote is, "Believe you can, and you are halfway there," by Theodore Roosevelt. So please help me welcome our workshop trainer today, DTM Rajarshi Roy. DTM Rajarshi Roy, the stage is yours.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Let's have a huge round of applause for our MC, Toastmaster Paramjit. And Toastmaster Paramjit, I am pretty sure that at the end of today's training, you would be able to rewrite your love letter again. I'm pretty sure of that. Well, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. For some of you, it's really early in the morning, so I want to really thank you for joining today's session. And I hope that by the end of this session, whatever 30, 40 minutes of session we have, you should be able to take back something out of this grammarian workshop that we have. And the reason why I prefer to call it a workshop and not a training is because we will all be responsible to make this as interactive as possible. Okay, so it is the responsibility for each one of us to do so. Right. Now, without a further ado, let me just quickly dive into today's workshop. The first thing I would like to say is that I don't have a PowerPoint presentation to present in front of you, because I feel it kind of takes away from the connect that I, as a workshop facilitator, can establish with my audience. So there is no PowerPoint presentation. And second, because I said we would make it interactive, somewhere I feel a PPT might make it little less interactive. And hence, there is no PPT. So no boring slides to go through, and you keep hoping for that thank you slides to come up and you'll be relieved. Oh, wow, the session is over. Thank God it's over, right? So there is no PPTs like that. Now, ladies and gentlemen, before we move into the actual role of a grammarian, let me start by asking you all a question. Yeah. And you can raise your hand. I know our timer has inevitably raised his hand from the very beginning, but barring the timer, whosoever wants to raise your hand and answer the question, please feel free to do so. My question to you is, Why do you think a grammarian is required in a Toastmasters meeting? We can run the Toastmasters meeting without a grammarian, right? Why do you think it is that essential? Why do we need to have a grammarian? Anyone? Okay, so I have seen a couple of hands go up, but the first hand I can see on my screen is that by Toastmaster Madhusudan. So Toastmaster Madhusudan, if you can let me know, why do you think a grammarian is important?
Structure of sentences and the language usage we will be knowing.
And how, yes, please go ahead. And how do you think this structure of sentences might help us? Why is it important for us to better frame the structure of a sentence?
Because it should be pleasing to the audience, and audience should get something out of my speech that I deliver.
Absolutely, absolutely. Can we have a huge round of applause for Toastmaster Madhusudan? Very good. It enhances the quality of the speech. Imagine me being on the podium, delivering a speech, might be very good at content. However, the grammar itself is inaccurate. I make several grammatical errors in my speech. Do you think my audience would really enjoy that speech? Do you think there is a take back value for my audience through that speech? I don't think so. So very well, you've hit the nail on its head. Very good, Toastmaster Madhusudan. The next hand I had seen is for our presiding officer, who has now put his hand down. I don't know, maybe his hand is aching. But yes, Toastmaster Mrinal, what is your answer? Do you have any other answer to give?
Yes, I just add on to that. So I think communication gap. If you not use proper grammar, then there's a lot of chances are there for communication gap. And that we need to be very careful when we are using sentence proper appropriate way. If you're not using our sentence appropriate way, so sometimes you know what happened. A lot of communication gap. So as a leader, as a human being, as a person, we should be very careful about the grammar whenever we are using the grammar.
Absolutely, absolutely, Toastmaster Mrinal. That is so fundamental. If we are not being able to communicate with whosoever, then what is the purpose of it? The whole idea of us being in Toastmasters is to be able to communicate effectively. And if somewhere there is a hindrance to that, then the purpose itself is defeated. Okay. Now imagine you are, forget prepared speeches. Let's talk about table topics. In table topics, you don't know the topic that you're going to be given beforehand. And in fact, today also you have a table topic that's going to come up a little later on. So you don't know the topic, you're just being presented with the topic, and you have to start speaking on it. And you struggle with grammar. So there will be a difficulty for you to communicate your thoughts to your audience. And there will be a barrier to effective communication. So grammar is extremely important. Thank you very much, Toastmaster Madhusudan and Toastmaster Mrinal, for your lovely answers. I think the other aspect is a grammarian also adds vocabulary to my speech. Because today, during the course of this workshop, we will dive into the role of a grammarian, and you will see how a grammarian can add to the vocabulary of each and every Toastmaster who is attending that meeting, right? So our endeavor at the end of the day is to become better speakers, right? And for us to become better speakers, we need to be good at our grammar. We need to use better vocabulary. We need to be able to effectively communicate our ideas, our thoughts, our vision to our audience, right? So that is the importance of having a grammarian. It's not just because there is a tag team and we need to fill that G in the tag and hence we have a grammarian. No, right? Now, let's say I have nominated myself as a grammarian, and this is my second question to you. What do I gain out of being a grammarian? Let's say, either I self-nominate myself in a Toastmasters meeting, or someone, maybe the VP Education, comes and requests me to take up the grammarian's role. How do you think I will benefit as a grammarian? Anyone? Again, quick show of hands. If I take up the grammarian's role, how does it benefit us? No one?
I'll be
Yes.
a great listener.
Wonder who said that? Sorry, I didn't catch that. Who said it?
Shakuntala.
Shakuntala, Toastmaster Shakuntala. Very, 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 very good. I think you will be if you are a grammarian, you will be a great listener. That is very, very important, because as a grammarian, you need to be very, very attentive and very vigilant throughout the course of the meeting. It's not a role where you can quickly go and grab a cup of coffee or take a bio break and come back and then continue in the meeting. You have to be very, very attentive throughout the meeting to catch every nuances, every usage of grammar that is being used in the meeting. So very well answered, Toastmaster Shakuntala, that I will become a better listener. What else? Distinguished Toastmaster Kumar, I think, has raised his hand. What else? DTM Kumar, you are there? You've raised your hand. In case you're speaking, you're on mute. Okay, I guess he's having some difficulty in unmuting himself. But ladies and gentlemen, just about being grammarian. It is also for every single role that we take up. And today we are discussing on the role of grammarian, so I will stick to that. There is so much for me to learn as well, because when the speakers are delivering the speech, they will be using so many good grammar. They will be using so many good words, so many good phrases, so many good idioms that we as a grammarian are making a note of. And through that, we are also enriching ourselves. So it's kind of a mutual learning process. It's not only the speaker, while forming his speech, is he kind of making a note of all these good usage, all these good grammar that he can use in his speech, but also me as an audience or me as a grammarian, while I'm making a note of all of that, I am definitely increasing my vocabulary as well through what I get to hear in the form of all the speeches and table topics. So there is a mutual learning, and we learn and grow together in Toastmasters, right? So this is exactly why I would encourage every one of you at some point in Toastmasters to take up the role of grammarian. And the more you take this role up, the better you are going to become at it. Okay, I am no expert at it, but I guess I've taken up this role many number of times now, and through all the experience that I have gained taking up this role is what I'm sharing with you. It's not about me being the expert at grammar. I myself make a lot of mistakes, but I try to learn every time that I take up this role, and I would like to encourage every one of you to do so. Okay, right. So now that we've set the context, we know that why a grammarian is required. We know what we will gain being a grammarian. Let's look into the role of a grammarian. Now, as a grammarian, you typically in a Toastmasters meeting will come up twice. Once at the beginning of the meeting, when the general evaluator calls you to introduce your role, and once at the end of the meeting when you're actually presenting your grammarian report, right? So typically you come up twice in the meeting. And please ensure that both the times you are very effective when you come up on the podium. Make sure that whatever you communicate, the audience understands clearly. So I'll firstly talk about the first time you come onto the stage, when the general evaluator says, okay, let's ask, now I'll move on to distinguished Toastmaster Rajarshi Roy, who is our grammarian for today. can you please introduce the role to our audience? Okay, so I've been called onto the stage. I have to introduce my role to the audience. Now, what is my role as a grammarian? Now, as a grammarian, I have 3 important roles to perform. Again, quick show of hands. How many of, can anyone tell me what are the 3 things I need to do as a grammarian? And people who have not yet, yes. Is it Toastmaster Shakuntala?
Yes, sir. I have to find a word of the day according to that goes aligned with the theme.
Okay, that is one of your role. Okay, what is the other role?
Inappropriate usage of grammar.
Inappropriate usage of grammar. Okay, and what is the 3rd role?
Another point is,
sorry,
hello?
I didn't catch. Yes, DTM Kumar, please go ahead.
Another point is pronunciation.
Pronunciation, yeah.
It can make
Absolutely.
a different meaning. You mispronounce a word, the grammar can go haywire.
Absolutely. You will definitely catch the pronunciations. But at the time, I am saying at the time of introducing your role, I heard Toastmaster Shakuntala saying that we need to give the word of the day. We need to catch the incorrect or inaccurate usage of grammar. And what is the 3rd thing that we need to do?
The good usage.
Good usage. Very good, DTM Kumar. So these are the 3 things. And when you say mispronunciation, it will be coming under not so good usage of grammar or incorrect usage of grammar. Under that, mispronunciations will also come in. So we don't need to really categorize it into a separate role. It can be within the incorrect or inaccurate usage. So basically, there are 3 roles or 3 responsibility of a grammarian. 1 is give the word of the day. 2 is the incorrect or inaccurate usage of grammar. And 3 is the good usages of grammar. And today, through this workshop, we will look into each of them in details. Okay. Let's start off with the word of the day. Now, I know there are clubs which gives phrase of the day, idiom of the day, and things like that. But typically in a Toastmasters meeting, and we have the grammarian come and give the word of the day. So for today's session, we will stick to the word of the day, and my entire discussion will revolve around the word of the day. You can take it a notch higher and use the same principles for the idiom of the day as well. But my discussion will just limit itself to the word of the day. Okay. Now, word of the day. As the grammarian, I personally feel it is not just a huge responsibility on me to give the right word of the day, but it is also important that we do the balancing act. Now, when I say the balancing act, I mean our goal as a grammarian should be to enrich the vocabulary of the speakers, right? Of the Toastmasters. We should be able to help Toastmasters grow their vocabulary. Now, in case I give a word of the day, which is extremely simple, which already everybody knows, it definitely defeats the purpose. Okay. I have been to Toastmasters meeting where I've heard grammarian give the word of the day as awesome. Is there anybody in the room who doesn't know the meaning of the word awesome? No, right? All of us know awesome. Why give a word of the day which is so simple, the meaning of which everybody knows and everybody can use? Rather, another simpler word, but yet not so complicated word having a similar meaning would be incredible. We many a times, typically, in a Toastmasters meeting, when we are asked to describe, let's say, our last holiday destination, many a times we say, we had an awesome experience. Try replacing it with the word incredible. Oh, I had an incredible experience there. It's not a difficult word, but it's a word that we generally do not use. So my point here is you have to have this understanding of giving a word which is not very simple, so that which everybody already knows, neither it should be extremely complicated, which no one lands up using. You know, the other day I went to one of the Toastmasters club, and I think I shared this in some club. I can't remember which club it was. The grammarian gave a word of the day, which was vicissitude. I'll write it in the chat for you to have a look. I think it is, and please pardon me if I'm writing a wrong spelling. That is the word I put in the chat. That is the word that was given as the grammarian, vicissitude. How many of you already know the meaning of the word? Please don't Google. Don't open Google and start seeing the meaning. How many of you know the meaning of the word vicissitude?
Don't know.
Right? No one knows. And it's actually, and I've written it down because I can't remember it. It actually means the quality or state of being changeable. That is the meaning of the word vicissitude. Now imagine a grammarian giving a word like this. What happened was no one in the club landed up using that word. And eventually the grammarian, when he came back to present his report, said, unfortunately, there was no usage of the word of the day. Of course, there will be no usage of the word of the day. Look at the word that you've given. But because the meaning is the quality or state of being changeable, we could have replaced that word vicissitude and given the word fluctuations. Fluctuation is something which keeps changing, right? It either goes up, down, fluctuation. It's a simpler word and yet can be used, right? So try and do that balancing act. Do not give words which are extremely simple, which everybody already knows, or do not give words which are extremely complex, which no one lands up using, okay? You have to use your own judgment to give a word which everybody can use in the meeting, right? Okay, now, when you give the word of the day, I do not see this done, and even Toastmasters, I don't see Toastmaster recommending this. This is purely my recommendation. When you give the word of the day, please give the pronunciation, the correct pronunciation of the word as well. It is very important. Why? Let me give you another example in the chat. How many of you know this word? Quick show of hands. Okay, so we have Kamal who's raised his hand. I see our grammarian who's raised his hand. Many of you already know this word, right? Now, if you look at this word closely, and if I try to break this word up, it is like this, right? This is if I break it. Now, if I look at the second part of the word, S-C-I-E-N-C-E, it is science, right? But what is the actual pronunciation of the word? Can our grammarian please help me pronounce the word?
It's
conscience.
Absolutely correct. It is conscience and not conscience. Ladies and gentlemen, giving the right pronunciation is very important. The word should be pronounced as conscience. Conscience. It is not conscience. Just because you see a science at the end, the word does not become conscience. Please, very important, ladies and gentlemen, as a grammarian, kindly point, and this is completely my recommendation, kindly point out the correct pronunciation of the word. I will give you another example. Let's say the word is this. How many of you know this word? Quick show of hands. No one? No one in the room? Can anybody attempt to pronounce this word? Let me go back to our grammarian again. It seems as if I'm taking his test, but yes, Mr. Grammarian. Can you want to take a try? How do you pronounce the word, Obradip?
I think Bigil, but a Bigwil.
Okay,
I don't know.
Hannah. I think Hannah is slowly kind of trying to raise her hand. Hannah, would you like to tell me?
It's beguile.
Absolutely correct. It is beguile, and that's what I was telling you, everyone. If I, as a grammarian, am not giving the pronunciation of the word properly, people are not going to use the word properly. And the whole purpose of giving a new word or teaching a new word gets defeated. So the way you should be pronouncing it is, it's beguile. It's beguile. Okay. So thank you, Hannah, very much for giving the right pronunciation of the word. And hence, whenever you give the word of the day, it is a good practice to also mention the pronunciation, how you need to pronounce the word. Okay. The next thing is, when you give the word of the day, you should also say what part of speech it is, whether it is a noun, whether it is a verb, adjective, adverb, what part of speech it is. And it is very, very important, ladies and gentlemen, because the meaning itself can change depending on how you use that word, whether you use it as a noun or whether you use it as a verb or an adjective. Now, let me give you a very simple word. I know this word will never be used or never be given as a word of the day, but this is just for explanatory purposes. Let's say the word is this. Rose, right? He gifted her a red rose on Valentine's Day. He gifted her a red rose on Valentine's Day. So here, the word rose is being used as a noun. It is a name of a flower. Now imagine a sentence. She rose to the challenge and defeated her opponent. She rose to the challenge and defeated her opponent. Here the word rose is being used as a verb, and the entire meaning changes, right? Let me give you another example. Again, a very easy word. No one's going to give it as a word of the day. Again, for explanatory purposes, let's say the word is this. Part. I had to part with my friend because of his wrongdoings. I had to part with my friend because of his wrongdoings. Now here the word part is being used as a verb, right? I had to part with my friend because of his wrongdoings. Now imagine I'm using the word part in this sentence. He is part Indian and part British. He is part Indian and part British. So here, the word part is being used as an adjective. So ladies and gentlemen, just by changing the part of speech, the entire meaning of the word changes. So I would strongly recommend you, when you give the word of the day, you please mention the part of speech also. Okay? So we've discussed pronunciation, we've discussed part of speech. Of course, you need to give the meaning of the word. I remember when I started my journey in Toastmasters back in 2012, I was not very tech savvy. I used to carry a pocket Oxford dictionary, and I used to see the meaning of the word, and I used to give the meaning to people. But now you have Google right on your phone. You just type the word and you'll get the meaning. Give the right meaning of the word, okay? Give the meaning. And finally, usage in a sentence. Very, very important, ladies and gentlemen. Please give a sentence to the audience which exemplifies the meaning of that word. And I will give you an example here. Let's say the word is this. How many of you know this word? Yes, Grammarian's raised his hand. Hannah has raised her hand. I guess many of you already know this word. Anyone else? I can't see most of you. People have decided to switch off their videos and sit. But apart from Hannah and our grammarian who has already answered, anybody else would like to tell me what is the meaning of the word benevolent? Anybody else?
Sir, may I?
Yes, who is this, please?
I'm Ruby.
Ruby, yes, Ruby. What is the meaning of the word benevolent?
It's kind-hearted.
Very good. Very, very good. Kind. Benevolent means kind, right? Thank you very much. Let's have a big round of applause for Ruby. Now, let's say that is your word of the day. Yeah. And you are giving a sentence as an example for the audience to understand and use the word of the day throughout the course of the meeting. And you have said the sentence is, he is a benevolent man. There's nothing wrong in this sentence, by the way. It is grammatically correct. But does it exemplify the meaning of the word? No, not at all. So is it a good example to give to your audience? No. Again, I'm saying, ladies and gentlemen, there's nothing wrong. There's no grammatical error in this sentence. He is a benevolent man. It's absolutely correct. Grammatically, it is 100% correct. But your idea is to give a sentence so that your audience understands the application of the word of the day in a sentence so that they can use that word in other sentences. But what if I would have said, my benevolent uncle decided to pay for my education? Does that make more sense? He's kind. He decided to pay for my education. So, ladies and gentlemen, give a sentence which explains the meaning of the word of the day better. So please be careful in choosing a sentence like that. Okay. So that is about the word of the day. So let us use this as a thumb rule. When we give the word of the day, we should apprise people of the pronunciation. We should definitely tell them which part of speech it belongs to. We should give them the meaning of the word, and we should have a sentence which actually explains the meaning better. Clear? Everybody clear on the word of the day? Wonderful. Now let's move on to the good usages and the not so good usages of grammar. Now, my question, again, I have a question to all of you. Now, when I think at the beginning, it was, if I'm not wrong, when I asked, what does a grammarian gain out of taking up this role? I think Toastmaster Shakuntala mentioned it improves your listening skills. Now, I want to ask you all a question. What do you listen to? Let's say you're a grammarian. What do you listen to? Now, in case you might say that good usage and not so good usage, but if I have to ask you to tell me a little more in detail, especially for the not so good, in fact, for both. Let's start with not so good usage. When I say not so good usage of grammar, what are you listening for? Yes, Mr. Grammarian, you've raised your hand.
It's mainly the tense. Like if there is going to tense problems, like it is in present tense, and if he is in projecting in past tense, like it should be he is going there, whereby he is telling that he was going there. So it changes the difference, the time. One thing is that, And in case of good usages, I can see the thoughts or quotes said by some personality or by himself or herself.
Wonderful, wonderful. Let's have a huge round of applause for our grammarian Toastmaster Abrodi. Very, very well said. I think let's first start off with the not so good usages. And he talked about and the problem or the challenge which many of us have when it comes to tenses. We mix up the tenses. Yeah. He go to the market yesterday. It's a very simple sentence. But if I am saying yesterday, it is not he go, he went. He went to the market yesterday, right? So it should have been a simple past tense. So one of the challenges, one of the issues which you can very easily catch as a grammarian is a problem in tense, right? The other thing which DTM Kumar had mentioned, mispronunciations. Very easy to catch. You know, I was attending some club's meeting and I shouldn't be saying this, but the Toastmaster of the day was using the word because as because. Every time he said because, he said because. Because I didn't do it, because. And I was thinking, what is because? Later on, later in the meeting, I realized it is not because, it is because that he's talking about. So it is very easy to catch that. So mispronunciations is another thing which you can very easily catch. Tense, problems in tenses, simple past, simple present, simple future. These are very simple, easy things to catch. Okay. So these are things which you should be constantly looking out for. And also, I would like to say, and I said at the very beginning, as a grammarian, you need to be vigilant throughout the course of the meeting to make a note of all these wrong usages that you have. Again, when I say wrong usage, you should also make a note of what better usage could there have been. The other day, I was attending a club's meeting and there was a table topic that was given to one of the speakers, and the topic was the same one which I just referred to a while ago. The topic was describe your last holiday destination. The speaker started by saying, it was a good experience. We had a good time. The place was good. There were so many times he used the word good. You could have happily changed the word good in different contexts. It was an amazing experience. We had an incredible time. The place was so interesting. I did not even use the word good even once. But the meaning is still the same. Now imagine it was a good experience. The place was really good. I had a very good time. So why good, 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 good? Isn't it becoming very repetitive in nature? So now none of these sentences are incorrect, ladies and gentlemen. But you as a grammarian, it is your responsibility to make it even better. So you can suggest synonyms of good, which can be used to actually make the sentence or make the meaning more impactful for the audience. Rather than saying I had a very good time in Globetrotters meeting, I had an incredible time in Globetrotters meeting. It creates a bigger impact, ladies and gentlemen. And I want you to find such things. Think about adding how you as a grammarian can add more value through your grammarian report, which you are going to present at the end of the meeting. Don't just write areas of improvement for the sake of writing. It has to really add meaning. It has to add value. Okay. Now, the other thing which I would like to say, which is a little contradictory to what I've been saying so far, and I have been doing it myself, and this is something which I should also reduce, and I've seen some great grammarians do it as well. When they present their grammarian report, they have about 15 to 20 not so good usages of grammar. Now, again, it is my personal opinion. If you give so many not so good usages of grammar, it becomes a little counterproductive. Again, it's a balancing act here. On one hand, we are trying to make our speakers we are not trying to help our speakers grow their grammar skills. But at the same time, if we point every single mistake that they have made, are we creating an environment of positivity? Will the speakers or guests come back to the meeting? Oh, Rajarshi is the grammarian. He will find hundreds of faults. I will not come back, Baba, to the meeting. I don't want to come back. It becomes a little counterproductive. So it is up to you to do that juggling act, to do that balancing act, to have areas that you want to point out, which are really adding value, and leave out certain things which you feel maybe I can't tell the person in private, but I don't really need to call it out through my report. So it is up to you to decide on that. Yeah. So that is and the other thing, very, very important when it comes to delivering the report, we always follow this in our club, and I would encourage every one of you to do that. And I hope already you are doing it, is that we praise in public and we criticize in private. Please don't say, Toastmaster Shomita, you had so many errors in tenses. Shomita will never come back to Globetrotters, even though she's one of the pioneer members of the club. How dare Rajarshi say something like this to me? Okay, so please, whenever you are talking about areas of improvement, whenever you're talking about not so good usages of grammar, you could say, I heard someone say that he go to the market yesterday. Instead, it should have been, he went to the market yesterday. So the person who actually said it would know that I'm talking about that person without taking that person's name. Please don't say that. Please don't take names. Please don't point out who has used incorrect grammar or who has made a wrong pronunciation. I was the grammarian in the meeting. I never went and said, the Toastmaster of the day has mispronounced the word because so many times that I forgot to count them. Imagine how demeaning and derogatory it is for the Toastmaster. So please don't do that. So you could just say that the word because was not pronounced correctly. The correct pronunciation is because. And so maybe you could repeat it a couple of times so that everybody knows the actual pronunciation of the word. Okay. Now coming to the good usages of grammar. Again, in some of the clubs I have seen the good usages of grammar. People, when the grammarian is presenting the report, the grammarian says, I had a wonderful time. I heard wonderful words today. They were impeccable, incredible, benevolent. Who has used it? I don't want to have that list. Say who has used it. Okay. I heard Toastmaster Rahul use the word beguile. Such a beautiful word to use in the context that he used. Even Toastmaster Rahul would feel good about it. I heard Toastmaster Obrodeep use the word conscience. It was such a befitting word in the context that he was talking about. So our grammarian would feel so good that, yes, I did catch that and I am mentioning his name. Which is why I said that we praise in public and we criticize in private. We don't take names. We don't tell people that, you had made this mistake. But of course, we appreciate and we praise people if they have said something really good. A wonderful proverb or wonderful quote, a wonderful idiom. It is very important. Okay. Now, so far it is clear what are the basic things we can catch for not so good usages and what are the basic things we should be catching for good usage. Yeah. Let's take it one notch higher for the good usage. Okay. As a grammarian, it is also important for us to constantly grow ourselves. How I played the role of a grammarian 5 years ago or 6 years ago is not how I play it today. And neither should you. You should constantly grow yourself in that role. And if you are taking up the role of a grammarian, and which I will encourage each and every one of you in this room to do so, there are certain things. Go back to your Wren and Martin. If you have the copy of your Wren and Martin, go take it out, remove that dust, go through that a little bit. Few things you as a grammarian should also know and revise. I'm sure we all know, but we've perhaps forgotten over the years because we are not in touch with our English grammar. So a couple of things I will write down in the chat and which you should, as a grammarian, should go back and read upon. Yeah. Let's say the first one. How many of you know what is this? Anyone who knows what is alliteration? No one's going to Google, huh? People who are, I can see our presiding officer looking down at his computer. I don't know if he's Googling or doing his work, but
It is.
yes,
It
who's
is.
this?
It is Shakuntala. It is 3 words that start with the same letter.
Very good, Shakuntala. Excellent. Let's have a big round of applause, Shakuntala. Now, Shakuntala, you've said it's 3 words. It's not necessarily always 3.
Okay.
It can be 2 words also. Let's say the brave boy beat the mega monster. It is an alliteration. Brave boy, mega monster. 2 words back to back starting with the same letters. Okay, so you have a use of alliterations over there. So look, as a grammarian, you should look out for those things. Okay. The boisterous bastard. Sorry for the word, but you have such usage of alliterations there. So please make sure that to take it a 1 notch higher, look out for such usages in anybody's speech or table topics, and you can point it out. What a great alliteration you've used in your speech. Yeah. The next thing which I would like to talk about is, and this time Shakuntala will not answer. How many of you know what's a metaphor? Oh, our grammarian's raised his hand. Yes, unmute yourself.
Okay, so you might be a bit wrong. I actually know the meaning of it. It's actually to depict someone in some other words. Like, what can I give an example? Right now, I can't remember it.
That is fine. I think you've got the essence right. I think I'll give it to you. Very good, Toastmaster Obradip. I think I'll give you an example and it will be very easy for everybody to understand. When we say metaphor, let's say an example, my mother has a heart of gold. That is a metaphor. Yeah. So where I am comparing, I'm saying her heart, I'm comparing it to gold. My mother has a heart of gold. Or another example, which is very relevant to me at this point in time, I am drowning in the pool of work. I have so much work that I'm drowning in it. That is a metaphor, right? So look out for such things where you are, and as very rightly said by our grammarian Toastmaster Obradip, that where you are using an activity or an object to define some personal trait of yours. I'm drowning in the work, or my mother has a heart of gold. These are all examples of metaphor. Very good. So excellent job, Toastmaster Shakuntala. Excellent job, Toastmaster Obradip. Now coming to the third word, which I would like to give you, is going to be, and which I guess many of you would know. How many of you know similes? No one?
May I? Sir, may I?
Who is this? You have to tell your name first because I can't see you on
Ruby.
this.
It's Ruby.
Ruby, yes. Yes, Ruby. What is a simile?
Simile is telling or comparing some similar things in a single word. Like for example, he is as soft as rose. The baby's skin is as soft as a rose. Like that.
Very good, very good. So you can say things like, first of all, let's have a huge round of applause for Ruby. Very good attempt at similes. And I think many a times we can, another example of that would be, I entered the room and the room was as cold as ice. Or maybe you could say something like, the way she spoke, it was as smooth as butter. So when you use such words, when you use such comparative words, as smooth as butter, as cold as ice, as swift as deer, these are all similes. Okay? And when a speaker uses such words, please appreciate the speaker for that. So why I'm giving you these things, that will only enhance your grammarian's role. Don't just catch good words and good phrases and good proverbs and good quotes. There are so many more things to catch. Okay. The other thing is my last thing, which I want to talk about. This many of you might know, puns. How many of you know puns? No, Obrodip, you can put your hands down. I'm not asking you anymore. Who else? Anybody else? Puns. Shomita, Paramjit, Mrinal. I don't know who else. Hannah. Anybody? You can give it a shot. What is a pun? Yes, Paramjit.
A word which makes some humor. A word which creates some.
Yes, a word or a phrase which creates humor. Very good. Most of the time it is sarcastic, it is satirical, that kind of humor that is played. So a very good example, just yesterday I was reading an article on the paper and I read this somewhere that no matter how much you push the envelope, it will still be stationary. And I loved that pun on it, you know. So we have envelopes, we have, pens, papers, all of these are stationary. So no matter how much you push the envelope, it will always be stationary. The other very, very common pun is that imagine a pessimist having a blood group of B positive. So it is like having it is like that, where you create humor with the usage of certain words or certain phrases, sometimes a little sarcastic in nature. So that is a pun. So look out for such kind of humor in a speaker's speech. So there are many more figures of speech, right? But I will just leave it to these 4 basic. As a grammarian, take it one step higher, one notch higher. Read a little bit about alliterations, about metaphors, about similes and puns, and try looking for such things in a speaker's speech, be it in prepared speeches or in table topics, so that when you present the grammarian's report, people will be wowed by the report that you present. Okay. So that covers what I should be looking for in terms of not so good usage, what I should be looking for in terms of very good usage. Okay. I will just take a pause here and quickly check with my timer. How much time do I have left? Because I don't see a timer card. How much time do I have?
7 minutes you have.
Perfect. Perfect. So now that we've covered what all you need to focus on, let's come to the grammarian's report. Okay. Now, here, I guess there are many of us who are still into online or hybrid meetings, and many of us have already moved into offline physical meetings. So I will keep this as generic as possible, and I will focus my report keeping in mind physical meetings, okay? Because eventually we will all move into physical meetings. Sooner or later, we'll go into physical meetings. What I always do, and I will, I will just share with you what I do. You can either follow what I do, or you can use anything that holds good for you. I take a blank piece of paper and I divide it into 4 columns. Yeah. And the first column, I on the heading of the first column, I put it as grammar. In that column, in grammar, I will put the good usages of grammar and who has used it. And I will put the not so good usages of grammar. And when I say not so good usage, it could be a tense related issue. It could be, some sentence construction issue or something like that. So good usage and not so good usage, I put under grammar. The second column I put as vocabulary. So if I have come across some really strong vocabulary, I could put alliterations there, metaphors there, similes, puns, and all of that. I will put under vocabulary. So that column will be dedicated for vocabulary. The third column, which I will have, is for mispronunciations. I remember DTM Kumar said at the beginning, what about mispronunciations? Of course, I put mispronunciations there. So I take a third column dedicated to mispronunciation. Okay. And my final column is for the word of the day. Now, I have something to say with regards to word of the day. Many club meetings that I have visited, I have seen the grammarian, when he or she is presenting their report, they say that the word of the day was used by Toastmaster Hannah, Toastmaster Paramjeet, Toastmaster Mrinal, and Toastmaster Obrodeep. You better not say it, please. I mean, I did not feel encouraged at all. Why don't you turn it into a contest? And why don't you say it like the word of the day was used multiple number of times. In the third place is Toastmaster Obrodeep, who's used the word twice. Let's have a huge round of applause for Toastmaster Obrodeep. In the second place, who has used the word of the day 3 times, we have a tie between Toastmaster Paramjeet and Toastmaster Mrinal. Let's have a huge round of applause. And the winner, the person who has used the word of the day maximum number of times. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for Toastmaster Hannah. How much difference does it make, ladies and gentlemen? Please enjoy the role that you're doing. Please love the role that you're doing. Put in a lot of effort, make it impactful so that when people walk out of that meeting, people should remember the person who played the grammarian's role. You know how I got to do the grammarian workshop? I'll tell you an inside news. I was playing the role of a grammarian in Globetrotters Toastmasters. And after I played the role and I got appreciated by the general evaluator and the fellow Toastmasters, that's when Toastmaster Mrinal and Toastmaster Shushmita came up to me and said, you know what? You should do the grammarian workshop. So create that impact by your role. You don't have to play the role of a Toastmaster of the day to be impactful. You can play the smallest of role in a club meeting and yet be most impactful in a meeting. Okay, so let us see how you can make this just by presenting your report. See, I could have just said the word of the day was used multiple number of times. Toastmaster Hannah, Toastmaster Mrinal, Toastmaster Obrodeep, Toastmaster Rahul, they all used the word of the day. But was I really appreciating them? No. But the way I said it made it into a contest. Maybe there are no prizes at the end of it. Maybe there are no certificates to be given away. But the very fact that we told in front of everyone that Toastmaster Hannah was our first position holder in using the word of the day maximum number of times, that made her feel good. She was smiling and she raised her hands. And that's what we are here in Toastmasters for, ladies and gentlemen, to have that smile in everybody's face, to make that environment of positivity. Okay. So ladies and gentlemen, that was my final point, that when you present the report, make it meaningful, make it impactful, so that people always want you to come back to the club and be the grammarian. Okay. So that completes my session. I have talked, I'll just do a quick recap. So I started off by saying why should we have a grammarian role? What is the benefit of being a grammarian? what are the responsibilities of a grammarian. We also talked about the word of the day and what you should have in the word of the day. We talked about a little bit about the not so good usages of grammar. We talked about the good usages of grammar, which included alliterations, metaphors, similes, and puns. And we finally talked about how we can present our report even more meaningfully and impactfully. Right? So that is what the grammarian's role is all about. With that, I have completed today's session. I will open the floor for any questions that you might have, and I'll be happy to take those questions. So the floor is all yours for any questions that you might have. Thank you very much. Any questions from anybody? Anyone? It could only mean two things. Either you've not listened at all, so you all are very poor listeners. You can't play grammarian's role.
I have a question.
Or, yes.
Thank
Please
you.
go ahead.
I'm Anu. Sorry, I cannot come in the VC.
No problem.
Since I have joined recently in Toastmaster, let me introduce. So when we are taking up the grammarian role, right, we ourselves feel that sometimes we might not be wrong. So when we are giving that report in the meeting, there will be people who are already experienced or who have the high level of knowledge and all. So in that way, how are we doing justice to that grammarian role? Because sometimes we feel that we might be wrong and we are not sure for something which cannot be not sure, and then we give that report. How do we justify that?
Toastmaster Anu, right?
Yes.
I missed your name. Toastmaster Anu, right? First of all, thank you very much for that question. It actually stems from the primary or the fundamental question to this is, if I am not good in grammar, if I'm not good in English, am I even worthy of taking up the grammarian role? It stems from that sort of a question. And
Yes.
my answer is yes, you should. And I'll tell you why. First, let's come to the good usages of grammar. You are a person who may not be really, some masters in English or a PhD in English or whatever. But at least when you listen to a speech, anybody, let's say Toastmaster Shomita is in this room. I know Toastmaster Shomita gives very powerful speeches. I've heard her speeches in the past. When you listen to a speech, and I'm taking her as an example without her permission, I hope she doesn't mind, but you can figure out what are the words that she used which are really good, which you feel that one day you would also like to use in your speeches. Can you figure that out? Is that doable or not doable? Toastmaster Anu?
Yes.
That is doable, right? Let's say Toastmaster Shomita uses a word like, I was flabbergasted by his presence. Oh man, she used flabbergasted. I should use the word too. Let me write it. Write it down. It can be said in good usages of grammar, right? That is one way. The other thing, let's say Shomita, again, sorry Shomita, I'm using you as an example. Let's say Shomita says, the word is shoulder her responsibilities.
Okay.
And every time she says shoulder, you know the word shoulder. Every time she says shoulder, she's actually saying shoulder. She's shouldering her responsibilities. Now you know the word is not shoulder, it is shoulder. So you can put it down as mispronunciation. You don't need an expert in English to come and tell you the word is not shoulder, the word is shoulder. You yourself can figure it out, right? So you can put down the mispronunciation. You have given the word of the day. You can be attentive and listen and count how many times whosoever has used the word of the day. You can put that down also. So you see, in spite of being not an expert, you have made your grammarian's report. You have caught the mispronunciations. You have caught the good usages of grammar. And you have also caught the word of the day, how many times it has been used. So please get out of that myth. Toastmaster Anu, thank you for that question. And many a times people have this question, they come up to me, Rajarshi, you know what? I'm not from an English medium school. I don't have a Christian missionary background. I'm not that great in English. Can I play a grammarian's role? Yes, you can.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay.
Thanks. Because only one thing, the guilt factor would be that we are not good at it, and how can we give it that report? Because we are in the process of learning and
You've answered the question yourself.
Yes. Yes.
Because we are in the process of learning, we will improve in due
Okay.
course. Our first report will be a 5 on 10. Our second report will be 7 on 10. And soon we'll be at a position where we'll be 9 on 10 or 10 on 10. Then what?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. Your inputs were really helpful. So yeah.
No
thank you.
worries. No worries. Any other questions? Going once, going twice, and going thrice. Okay, I guess no other questions. Thank you very much. I will pass the baton back to our wonderful MC, Toastmaster Paramjeet, to take this meeting forward with the rest of the proceedings. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. It was a pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Rajarshi. You know, when I saw the agenda, I was thinking, grammarian role maximum 15 minutes. I don't know what is going to talk about for 55 minutes. And I think I'll ask everybody over here, raise your hand if you feel that you have gone beyond grammarian role today. You know what is actually grammarian role. I think it's an incredible thing. Everybody talk, oh wow, so much of them. My goodness, thank you very much. You know, this shows the impact of the workshop. And I think we all talk about how to do evaluation. There are a lot of workshops going on how to do table topics, but touching a point of grammarian, which we always feel, okay, put anyone on grammarian role. He's the last one to put it here. I think we do most of the time we do that, but it is such an impactful area which can be really made impact for every speaker. And for Rajarshi, I remember he doesn't have only a very good active listening, he has a very good visual impact also. In last workshop I was doing on humor, and I had a slides, and he could find mistakes in spelling mistakes on my slides also. My goodness. So that's why he is giving us this particular wonderful session, incredible session. And I am very much like new thing for me. Like grammarian means now, oh my goodness, I have to work on this. I will take on the role of grammarian next time, very soon. Thank you, Toastmaster Rajarshi. Thank you very much. Now we would like to have our table topic session, which we all will be, I think, looking forward for, or some of us will not be looking forward for, because we'll say, oh, my name will be there. I think we can see how we can use our grammar today in our table topic. Now for the table topic master, before I go for the table topic master to call upon, I'd like to ask our timer, Mr. DTM Toastmaster Kondala Rao, to please give the timings for the table topic master, for the table topic session. Over to you, Mr. Kondala. You're muted. You're muted, Mr. Kondala.
Thank you. Thank you, Toastmaster Paramjeet. For table topics, 1 to 2 minutes. So at 1 minute, green card will be flashed. At 1 minute, 30 seconds, yellow card. And at 2 minutes, red card will be flashed. There is no lower limit, only upper limit, upper grace period of 30 seconds will be there. Post 2 minutes 30 seconds, the speaker will be disqualified for table topic. Thank you. At the end of the meeting, I'll present my report. Over to you, Toastmaster.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Kondal. We have AHA counter Toastmaster Adrika. Adrika, please explain your role.
Good morning, everyone. Am I audible now?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, sure. So as the name suggests, as an R counter, it is my responsibility to take note of the filler words and crutches words. The filler words and the crutch words are known as are, like, so, but, are. It is my responsibility, Toastmaster Africa, as your R counter, to take note of all these filler words and crutches in the table topic sessions. All the very best to you speakers. Over to you, MC.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Toastmaster Adrika. I think we have a grammarian, Avarodhi. He doesn't require to tell what he has to do. We have already listened from Rajarshi Roy what a grammarian has to do. Still, Toastmaster Avarodhi, the stage is yours.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Paramjeet. Good morning to you, to all the fellow Toastmasters and dear guests. You're right, I do not need to explain my role anymore because distinguished Toastmaster Rajarshi Roy has explained it in a beautiful way. However, I will tell that it's my responsibility to note the good and not so good usages of grammar. And it's also my responsibility to tell you the word of the day, that is elegance, which means the quality of being graceful and stylish in appearance or manner. For example, Yusuf Dikesh's performance in the Olympics was a piece of elegance. I also encourage every one of the speakers to use the word of the day in their speeches, and I urge all the Toastmasters to react with a thumbs up in order to encourage that speaker. And that's all being said. I will present my report at the end of the meeting when being called. Until then, I'm just looking up for a beautiful meeting filled with elegance and style. Back to you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Dr. Master Avarodhi. So now I'd like to call upon our table topic master, Mr. Toastmaster Madhusudan, who is a bank-compliant, retired joint Toastmaster to improve communication skill. He's a graduate in science and law and postgraduate in personal management and MBA. I hope he's going to give us not MBA questions today, but insightful table topics. Over to you, Toastmaster Madhusudan, for conducting a wonderful Toastmaster session.
Hello, everyone. I will be taking the table topics part, which is the most important and amazing session in table every Globetrotters Toastmasters meeting. I will be giving the topics. Speaker will be given time of 1 to 2 minutes with upper limit of 30 seconds. Those who are Toastmasters, they will not get a chance to change the topic. And other guests, they will have a chance to change the topic that I give. And every speaker is requested to use the word of the day in their speeches. If no one is volunteering, I will be having the privilege to call upon the Toastmasters or guests at random. I am going to start now. Who is going to volunteer first? I see so many hands being raised. First, I will go with Anu Gupta.
Yes.
For you, the topic is, what is the best advice you have ever received and from whom? What is the best advice you have ever received and from whom?
Thank you, Toastmaster, table topic master. This is one thing where everyone gives us. Am I right? At every point of your time, you get advices from different people and from different walks of people around. And this is one thing wherein it is within us whether we have to take that and implement it or ignore it. And again, if we say about ignorance, it's always like, well, we just have to respect that, listen it, and just ignore. It is up to us whether we need to implement in our life or not. From the day we are born till today, they are like, I have been receiving advices, but how fruitfully I'm implementing is at the end of the question. When at home, we get advice from our parents. We implement it just because they make sure that we are not going into a wrong path. When we come into schooling, we have friends who advise us, who listen to us. And again, the same thing. It's always a vicious circuit. Ignore, either accept or leave it. And at office, I think we have great leaders in my office as well. We take advices from them. And the best advice, which I always feel is, there's not best advice. Whatever comes, whichever is fruitful for me at that particular circumstances, I accept it and take it up ahead. So for me, there's not best advice. It's only like the steps which I take it forward to reach out that goal. Be it the professional front or be at the personal front. And advice is something which comes from an experience. Even you see a child, you get the advice from them. You see an elder person, you get advice from them. It's a different way of seeing things. Even from anyone, you can get advice from anyone. And what we take from them is matter to me. And I am a person who can learn or take advice from anyone. I don't feel that, okay, this is right or wrong, but again, yes, which is always helpful in my way of living. And every day since in the beginning, I told that we are all evolving, we are all learning with the process, whoever we meet. And that is how matter at the end of the day. So with that, I hand it over to table topic master, Madhu. Thank you.
Very well take on the topic. I agree with you. Now I will go with Toastmaster Ruby Sinha. For you, the topic is, what is the worst cooking disaster you have ever had?
Good morning, everyone. Good morning, table topic master. Cooking is not always, most of the time is a disaster for me because I'm not a very adept person in cooking. But after my marriage and after coming under some certain circumstances in a unknown city all alone with my husband, we have to learn the cooking. And one thing that very interests me is trying out different kind of recipes, new recipes, especially the region where I am living now. So one disaster which I can recall is making biryani, which is our soul food for many of us. So I tried to make biryani in my home, and I put every effort. I bring chicken and masalas. I did follow the steps according to the recipe which I watched in YouTube. Everything I did, but unfortunately, at some point it becomes a disaster. However, I have the skill to make up the disaster and turn that into a edible thing. So I quickly put some extra masalas and any other things, some other things to make that dish more presentable or edible, I guess. So that disaster I always remember, and after that I learned the lesson how to make biryani, and also now I can make biryani in a proper way, in a more tasty way. So that is the disaster which I remember, and that is also a lesson for me. So over to you, sir.
Exactly, cooking is an art, and your biryani will be mouth-watering. Now I will go with Toastmaster Rahul.
Yes, Toastmaster.
Conquer the gap between waking up and getting up for a productive day. conquer the gap between waking up and getting up for a productive day?
Thank you, Table Topic Master Madhushiram, for the wonderful topic. Well, one of the most difficult things most people dread is waking up early. But if I tell my experience, I'm always a morning person. Whether I sleep at 2 or whether I sleep at 3, I usually get up at 5:36 in the morning. So what happens when you get up early in the morning? The more early you get up, you get more productive time to do your work. You can plan your day accordingly. You can prioritize what needs to be done in a very orderly manner. So I believe once you start waking up early, you have lot many times to plan your day. You can prioritize what you need to do, and the biggest advantage which I feel waking up early is you can finish up all the difficult tasks that you have in a day. Like what I personally do, once I wake up, I do my daily stuff and I hit the laptop. I start working by 9:30. If I'm working from home and if I working from office, I start my day at 10 a.m. So I always try to prioritize the work which is the most difficult work that I need to do on that day. I do the first thing on that day. So what it helps me if I wake up early in the morning, the gap between productive and non-productive day is close. So always try to wake up early in the morning, prioritize what needs to be done, and then you start your day. So this is how I believe waking up early you would be able to bridge the gap between having a productive day and a non-productive day. Over to the Toastmaster Madhusudhan. Thank you so much.
Very good take on the topic. Early bird catches the worm. Is there time for us to proceed with one more topic?
I think we are almost on the time, so we can go ahead for other things.
Okay. Okay, then we will stop it here.
Thank you, Toastmaster Madhusudan, for conducting a table topic session with elegance. Thank you very much. So now we'll move further, and we will have something which I always like. Is most of the time we don't do it, but I like is about table topic evaluations, and this will be done by one of our. I think if I start reading about her, our meeting will finish. But still, I would like to talk about her. She is a wonderful, capable Toastmaster, IT professional for 17 years. She's a founder member of Technical IT Community and very active member in IT Community. She's the past president for Globetrotters Club, immediate area director D3, and serving as a division director. It's none other than Swamita Sengupta. Please help me invite distinguished Toastmaster Swamita for table topic evaluation. Over to you, ma'am. Thank you.
Please give a big round of applause for our very own MC Paramjit. Wonderful carrying of the session today. And it's so nice to hear you always, sir. So just to confirm once, we had only 3 table topic speakers today.
Yeah.
Okay. So I would request my DAC team player, because that is very, very essential in the form of timer, our counter, and grammarian to understand where we stand today after the table topics, because we only had table topic speeches today, right? I will call this speech because I will be evaluating the table topics. So may I request our timer Toastmaster Kondal to let us know whether we all were on time. I request you to come on the podium and deliver your timer reports. A big round of applause for Kondal.
Thank you, Madam Technical Evaluator. Congratulations, all the speakers. So all 3 of you qualified for voting. So I'm sharing my report. Sorry, it seems disabled for screen share. Just I'll read out the report. Maybe that will be better. Toastmasters Toastmaster Anu Gupta used 2 minutes 20 seconds. Toastmaster Ruby 1 minute 40 seconds. Toastmaster Rahul 1 minute 32 seconds. Congratulations, all three of you, and you qualified for voting. Over to you, Madam Toastmaster.
A big round of applause because all of are qualified. And thank you, Toastmaster Kondal, for that crisp to the point report. Now moving forward to my next tag player in the form of our counter, Toastmaster Adrika. May I request Adrika to come on the e-podium and deliver her reports?
Surely. Thank you, evaluator, for introducing me. Congratulations to all the speakers, to all the table topic speakers who have taken upon this attempt to try a table topic session. The beauty and elegance of the table topic session is something which leaves an impact to every Toastmasters out there in the Toastmasters journey. Now, according to my report, the crutch and filler words such as like has been used quite a few times. There has been one usage of so and a usage of long pauses in the speakers. Overall, the speakers have attempted very well, and it was a well-crafted speeches. Well, the spotlight for today's meeting is not on me, it's on the grammarian. So looking forward to hear about their report. Over to you, evaluator.
Thank you. Can we have a big round of applause for Toastmaster Adrika? Because we all are playing some of the other roles, so we all deserve a round of applause because we are taking out time to improve ourselves, and that matters a lot. Now moving to the last but not the least role player in the form of grammarian, Toastmaster Obrudeep. May I request you to come on the podium and deliver your reports?
Thank you, Toastmaster Soumita. Although it might be a Grammarian workshop today, but I can tell you this, that every role plays a very important part in every Toastmasters meeting. However, as a grammarian, I'm very sad to say, but the word of the day has not been used a single time. So that's something. For the good usages of grammar, oh, you have used it. Okay. For the good usages of grammar, I must commend MC Paramjeet, who said that believe you can, which is a really important quote, believe you can and you are halfway there, which is a quote of distinguished Toastmaster Rajarshi Roy, but you said it in a very beautiful way. So, and also some of the very good words like vigilant, beguile, given to us by our distinguished Toastmaster Rajarshi Roy were very commendable. Some not so good usages of grammar were, someone said vicious, the pronunciation was not right. It should be vicious. And also, it is not the best advice. You missed the is. So that is something you should look upon. And every time it becomes a disaster. So I also heard it every time becomes a disaster. So use it will sound much more complete. Other than that, it's all my report. Thank you to everyone for coming up on the stage and giving the reports and giving the speeches. Back to you, Toastmaster Soumita.
Thank you. Can we have a big round of applause for Toastmaster Obrudeep? So we can see that people have not used the word of the day apart from Adrika, which I just heard. So my two small piece of suggestion for the grammarian. So since it's an online setup, what we can do, we can write the word of the day, which is well written over here. But since it's for the people to know and understand the word of the debater, we should write it, the uses in sentence, and what form of part of speech is this. The second suggestion from my end is to the table topic master. So once the grammarian tells about his or her role, and once the table topic speaker, table topic master gets into the podium, so the table topic master should also remind people or at least announce, because during the table topic session, this person gets a lot of time to interact. So in that way, it is kind of reminding. But in offline setup, the things are different. We have a board or this word of the day is written over, in front of us. So for online setup, if we follow this, two simple rules, I have used it and it works like magic. People are bound to use it. Try it the next time. And I don't think you will be falling short of the uses of the word of the day, despite easy or hard it is. Now, moving to our table topic evaluation. So as our MC Paramjit was telling, this is something we ignore. We think table topic is something which we come here and speak and we have tried, that's the best thing. But my dear friends, table topic is again kind of mini speech. So once you are delivering a table topic for any session, keep it in mind, the simple rule that whatever topic is showered on me, I will deliver it with elegance and panache. Now, these are all very tough and flowery words, but what I mean to say is just keep it in mind that it is a mini speech and you can work wonders with that. So now coming to our first table topic speaker, who was Toastmaster Anu Gupta. She was given the topic, what is the best advice you have ever received and from whom? So usually when people get this type of direct topic, people start answering in a direct way. Suppose people recall what advice they have received and what the maximum benefit they have gained from it. But Anu took a different turn on this topic, different take on this topic, which I really like. She started on the advice we get in our day-to-day life, whether we like it or we don't like it. And she also told us about the advice we get in different, sphere of life in the form of parents, advice comes from friends and in office and what's so not. And she also expressed that it's up to her whether she takes those advice, whether she doesn't take that advice. So I loved her take, but what was a miss here? What I felt that first, let me come into the presentation. So Anu, you are a confident speaker because your word was loud. You were truly visible in the screen because we have to justify everything in this small box, right? Which you can see me as well. But your eye contact was not proper. What I felt like you were looking tangentially, maybe to the left, probably. I found it in that way. So if you take it as a speech delivering to online audience, try to look in the camera of your laptop or computer. This will help you to align with the audience. So whatever you are speaking, it will help us to understand that you are speaking it with all your conviction because that's what matters. So your eye contact can be taken to the next level when you come and speak for anything, maybe table topic or your speeches. Second thing, now we heard your table topic. I loved your way of delivering on this topic. You didn't mention about any advice. You were very straightforward. How about, arranging this table topic? How about starting with a quote? Okay. I would have taken a very easy quote like wise men don't need advice, fools don't take it. So if you can start with a quote which is quite relevant to what you are about to speak or the statement you are want to come out, that will make a good impact. So not only in speeches, in table topic also we can use quote and club our topics with that because that gives a good, starting of the table topics. Secondly, about the body language, we never care about our body language. So I told you about the eye contact. Rest, you are a very confident speaker. Come to the podium, deliver as much as table topics you can and take it to the next level. Can we have a big round of applause for our first table topic master, Anu Gupta? Now, it was our second speaker, Toastmaster Ruby, a housemaker, and if you are a working professional as well, I don't know, but whatever you are, I know you got happy with this topic. What is the worst cooking disaster you have ever had? And Ruby started smiling after getting this topic because this was quite an easy topic for a woman and for a man as well. Because I know like men cook better than women. And all the good chefs and the miscellaneous chefs are all men. So Madhusudan ji has done a great job for bringing up this topic, and Ruby started with her way of telling us about her biryani disaster and how she has this fortitude of converting that, and now she is a good biryani cook, I would rather say. So Ruby, you are really good because you never waited to think on this table topic. You started with the flow. So when we get anything, when we come on the podium and we start speaking on it, automatically we get the audience attention. 10 on 10 on that. It never felt that you were standing on your feet and thinking, buying some time. You didn't do that. If you get difficult topic also, and if you have this flair, please keep it up with the big, keep it up for this, because very few people can do it. Secondly, what I liked about is that you also spoke about your marriage life and how you were not adept in cooking. So that was a very honest take. And when you say you didn't like cooking, and when you then come up with the statement that biryani was a disaster, it really makes sense. Because you tell us about your background and then why it was a disaster and then how you improvised. So here, all in all, a small mini speech structure is formed. Just that, have a little bit of confidence when you speak. Just like I was telling Anu Gupta, she is a confident speaker. You were having a good content, but I felt that your confidence was quite shaking somewhere. Always remember, your table topic is also a speech. Your audience is hearing you. Whatever you say with conviction, and you are the winner. There's nothing above or beyond this statement. Whatever you say with conviction. Thank you. Can we have a big round of applause for Toastmaster Ruby? Now coming to our last table topic speaker for today, Toastmaster Rahul. And Rahul, what I understood your topic was on waking up early. And fabulous. Rahul did a good job. Ask me why. Because he got his beautiful topic which was close to his heart, topic which he lives with. And that's the reason Rahul spoke so well on it. Because what you follow and you preach, that becomes very easy. So for today, it was a cakewalk for Rahul for getting such a beautiful topic. And Rahul was on point. He spoke about the pros of getting up, he spoke about his routine of what he does. And that was quite a good takeaway for me as well. When he established this fact of having a productive day and making all the to-dos list, starting up early, managing your day better, how it defines you to start a good, positive, productive day and not so good day because of waking up early. Everything was to the point. You have done justice. But while you were speaking, I felt that you were not speaking effortlessly. So what is this effortless speaking? So when we speak with our friend, we are so on the flow. But when we speak in office, we have, at times I prepare what I have to talk with my boss. I prepare it in my mind. Okay. So effortless speaking is an art. And today I felt while you were speaking, your face was very grumpy because we never take care of our body language, of our facial expression in table topics. You had good content, you spoke with conviction, but the facial expression, and in online sphere, facial expression and our body language or hand gestures matters a lot. Today, while I don't know whether you people have noticed or not, we had a 1 hour session for Grammarian. What I noticed first about Toastmaster, the distinguished Toastmaster Rajarshi, is that although he was sitting and delivering in an online setup, he had a good camera position, where his half part of the body was visible with his hand gestures. So that is very important because we have to take care of how we look, how much we smile, whether we are freely speaking or not, because that takes our speech to the next level. So Toastmaster Rahul, just add a dash of smile when you speak. And yes, you are smiling and you're looking very handsome. And since you are also sitting very well, far better than me, because I am using a very, high on table today. So once you have your, this much of your body visible, you can, deliberately use your hands as well. Little bit of smile. That will take your table topic definitely to the next level. That's all for my evaluation on table topics today. I am just handing the podium to our MC Paramjit, and thanks for bearing with me. Thank you.
Thank you very much, distinguished Toastmaster Somita. I think this is one of the way you explain in so much detail about every single table topic person. I think this is something very great to. Most lot of time we miss it, and this what she has explained is not for particular Rahul or Toastmaster or Ruby. It is for everyone. We all take it what she has given us with it. I think she was so actively listening to every single word and watching us, watching every table topic speaker. That is why she could explain us in such a detailed way. Incredible, Sonita. Thank you very much for your detailed explanations and done with elegance. Thank you very much. I think this was one of the session I will never forget because of one reason about the training and after that table topic evaluation. My goodness. I think this is something incredible, and it's already, I think we are almost on time. So I'd like to hand over back to Minal. Thank you very much for giving me an opportunity, Toastmaster Minal. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I ask you everyone, please clap for our energetic MC. And throughout the day, actually, we enjoy the meeting. It's a Sunday morning meeting. We almost end of the meeting. Still we fresh, so refreshed. That kind of fragrance we are having in our meeting. Yes, I must congratulate our eloquent and ebullient grammarian facilitator, DTM Rajarshi. Thank you so much for your fragrance on the role of grammarian. Even I also thought that grammarian workshop for 1 hour, how can it possible? What are the things? Talk to the audience. But trust me, without slide deck, this is an amazing, amazing workshop. And everyone, we should learn a lot of things. Onus on us how you can implement when you take up a role as a grammarian. Yes, each and every roles are very crucial, but how we take it as an ownership, that's importance. Next, coming to our table topping master, Toastmaster Madhusadan. Thank you so much. I know that you are traveling almost across the globe as of now. And right now, I think you're back to Hyderabad. But so much of things still you are taking as a role as you are coming to our meeting on regular basis. Thank you and hats up to you. And I love the topic. All the topics are very relevant. Next, coming to our table topic evaluator. I think she is already there with microscope. So every minor details captured by you and which will be helpful for the table topic speaker for the next time onwards, he or she will be implemented. Thank you so much for your details evaluation and such an elegance we can feel in your evaluation. And definitely without audience, it is totally impossible for us to conduct a successful meeting. So with that, I just want to take a feedback from Muhammad Yasin. Muhammad Yasin, what is your take on today's meeting? Muhammad Yasin, am I audible to you? Or maybe Shravani? Shravani, are you there? Toastmaster Shravani?
It was a really incredible meeting. And what about Samita Sen Gupta and our grammarian? so amazing and gave us so many what to say means we learned a lot today, and somehow we could implement. Means those are attending today, they can implement all those things. And it was always lovely to join your Toastmaster Club, Globetrotters Club. But I am waiting for in-person meeting. If some, because I would like to see all of you in person only. And today,
Sure.
today
So
grammar
whenever you come to Kolkata, you can catch up
and
physically.
grammar special for grammarian. I think his name is um, his name is I think Roy, some Mr. Roy. So he since no, 2019 I joined Toastmaster, but I have never I couldn't never imagine grammarian report could be like that. First place, second place, and third place goes to. But I'm amazed. Totally. Whenever I come to join Globetrotters Club, I learned a lot. Thank you all.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Shravani. Toastmaster Tulika, anything from you? Any metaphor you want to use?
What more can I use about your club meetings, Toastmaster Mrinal? They are too good. I mean, whenever I come to this club, I mean, recently I started coming to this club, having the morning, starting with the making, cooking, and everything. I always listen to your club meetings. I'm very sorry that I couldn't open up my face in video because I'm into a lot of things, but I definitely listen to your meetings. And he is my mentor, Rajarshi. And whatever I learned regarding this grammarian role, I had this little bit of idea that grammarian role is not a matter of joke. You have to be very active listener in order to do this role. So that's why I always kept myself away from this role. But how long we can do that? In order to learn something, you always have to break your fear and come up on the stage and just do it. So yes, I really got motivated and learned so many things. I will definitely try to take up this role from now onwards. Thank you, Rajeshri.
Thank you.
Rajeshri. Thank you so much.
Tulika, for your valuable feedback. Now coming to Toastmaster Anu.
Thank you, Toastmaster. It was a great learning for me, and I just randomly joined. And it was like a different way of seeing things because last couple of days I'm taking grammarian role, but today I know that how to present it, like the opening sentence of how to say. I always use Toastmaster, somebody have used it, had used it, that kind of word. But today I'll try to change that into whenever I take this role. So it was a great different way of presenting report, great insights from everyone. And yeah, we look forward for more role sessions like this, because right now we are taking this process of like taking grammarian role, counter and all. We will just go and see how the roles can be taken in a different way. So we look forward for it. Thank you, everyone. Thanks.
Thank you.
MC.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Anu. Now it's time for coffee with two grammarian, Toastmaster Abradip and DTM Rajarshi. So Abradip, now it's your turn to feedback regarding our workshop today.
Well, it was an amazing meeting. Amazing. I had no plans to join the meeting, but yesterday just Toastmaster Devapriya suggested me that you should join as a grammarian. It will be a wonderful workshop. And yeah, here I am. I'm really just thank you, Toastmaster Devapriya, for giving me this opportunity, because I have heard about distinguished Toastmaster Rajarshi Roy, but I saw him in action today. Absolutely an honor, sir. So I would say that it was an amazing meeting, absolutely fabulous, a piece of elegance, I must say. And all thanks to you, President Mrinal Ghosh, for adding me as the grammarian for today. Thank you.
Thank you. Any final word for DTM Rajarshi?
Well, mutual admiration to our grammarian, Toastmaster Abradip. I think doing a workshop is one thing, but then when you have a very strong grammarian in the form of Toastmaster Abrodeep, I think it just makes it even more effective and more efficient, I think. And I love the fact that Abrodeep was answering most of the questions which I was asking. He had his hand raised. Eventually, I had to tell him, you put your hand down, I'm not asking you the question. But thank you. I think it's always a pleasure coming back to Globetrotters. I think from the time this club got chartered, even before it got chartered, when it was having its demo meetings, I have been a part of this club. So I have seen the baby being born. I have seen the baby growing. And now it is rising and shining and living up to its full glory. I think every single person, right from Shomita to Brinal, every single person has contributed so much in the glory and the success of the club, and it speaks through its members. Very well done. Thank you very much for having me.
Thank you. Any final comment to our founder member, Toastmaster Somita?
Well, I think in the history of District 124, or say in Toastmasters, this would have been the first workshop in Grammarian, at least in District 124. And it was done wonderfully, distinguished Toastmaster Rajarshi. I never thought that we would get to hear so many nitty-gritty things, and 1 hour will just fly in a blink. It really flew in a blink, trust me. And I enjoyed every part of it. And the best thing which I liked about is without PPT. Because when I see PPT, I get scared. Oh, a lot of things to absorb, a lot of things to keep in mind. We are always, looking at someone or others or PPT. So it was direct dil se, which Rajarshi shared with all of us, direct from heart. And the good thing was it was interactive. Many workshops are interactive, but people get stuck in 1 or 2 PPT. People elaborate a lot on that, but rest PPTs rest slides are left. Rajarshi was on time. He took every little things. He took some very good examples. The audience was glued. The audience was interacting. What else do we expect? That too in a club level. Wonderful, wonderfully done. Can we have a big round of applause for our distinguished Toastmaster Rajarshi? GTC, please take all the benefits from him. Don't let him go. That's my one and only advice.
Yes. Thank you so much for set a tone for our club's meeting. And stay tuned for our 3rd birthday meeting in the month of September. It will be on 8th September. And also stay tuned for our 150th meeting in this year, in the month of November end. So you have a lot of good planning is already on there. I hope you will be, that meeting will be, as usual, will be the world class. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining on the meeting, and enjoy rest of your Sunday. Thank you, everyone.